captains. We want them to feel connected to each other. Latent throughout the entire process of the training as well as fellowship building. We built time into the trainings as well so that they have time to connect with each other. Chatter is another great way for them to do that, for them to talk to each other in a sense outside of the formal programming, connect with each other. And as well, a key thing really is the newsletter that we started, which you guys can expect the Shavuos edition next week, including a very special interview with somebody in the office. So basically, what the newsletter does is it shows them that they're part of something larger. I think newsletters still have the perception that there's an organization, there's something out there, you're part of something. They can share with others, they can print it out, they can email it, they can forward it to whoever they want. And many of the fellows told me that they did do that. It also has pictures in the newsletter, other different things. Keep in mind that every fellow goes through the same training process, but we've split up that usually there's 2 options for each training process. So some of them may have never met each other other than the orientation, some of them are seeing each other fairly regularly, but it's cool to see what else is going on in the broader picture as well. It gives them a social cohesion, like I said, they're spread out and they can connect across time as well. As well as it's a good recruiting piece. We go to do a recruiting event and we print out copies of the newsletter. They can get a sense of what's going on. So yes, it's the newsletter. Captains. Captains are a very huge part of VFU. It's largely where I started off in VFU. And captains basically develop and take on and grow core students. Captains are basically also working within a similar model to the campus rabbis of taking on core students and working with them through a set period of time. And as well, they are, so going forward, we're looking to basically take captains from the fellowship. The idea is that the fellows, after a year-long training, are getting a very serious amount of training, which bring them the skills that we would like to see in captains. One complicated thing right now is basically that there's a lot of overlap between different things and somewhat of a blurring of roles, which makes it hard to manage, hard to give everybody a sense of like what they're supposed to do at all times. And basically it's that any particular student is being followed up with by a rabbi, by a fellow, and by a captain, and sometimes by 5 or 10 fellows, depending on where you met them. So that's a challenge, and that's something that we're definitely looking to work out. Future directions of where we're going. So basically we're going to have a whole new group of fellows for the next year. We're going to try to start the club. We're going to develop and figure out how to do this leadership level semester 2. As well as we're looking to do a trip to Israel just for the fellows in the summer of 2014, so that's next summer. It would basically be, in very brief, let's say a 2-week trip. They go to Aish, they learn there, there would be like 3 parts to it. They would interact with students that are there, ideally their own students that they worked with over the year that are now there. They would also have some sort of like their own learning state or their own learning program, which would probably tie around here ideas. And the third thing would be a lot more of a leadership kind of thing, which is we would come to them with challenges, with problems, with campus team wants chavrusa sheets, whatever it is that, okay, now work on them. You have the best and brightest minds of Aish there for you to work it out with, and you can do that there. Other thing we're looking to do is continue to refine the training methodology. There's some things that we think are working. Some things we're only going to see whether they're working or not in practice. So for example, Chani maybe gave a training seminar here on relationship building. And she asked me afterwards for constructive feedback, and like I could show her their surveys, but a lot of that's irrelevant. It just says what they think they're capable of doing and think they're confident doing. It was nice to see over the course of the semester, for example, when many of the fellows had an issue with one particular thing, and they came to me and very assertively, which is one of the skills they learned how to do, assertively but respectfully, came to me to talk to me about the issue. So a lot of that we'll see over as time goes on, whether our training's working, and we'll be able to adjust accordingly. As well as we go forward is to develop like an alumni network of fellows across the United States. The current fellows, even it's like there's 50 of them. Well, many of them are from the tri-state area, but we also have from Baltimore, Chicago, LA, Cleveland, St. Louis. So as we go forward, like we'll have 5 fellows in LA, they'll start a fellowship out there. And they'll be able to develop across. And as well, the key thing that will connect them at that point, and that's why we're putting in a lot of time to make it work now, because I think is chatter. I think it's a little hard to go and say, okay, you graduated from the program, here's this thing called chatter, you're all on it, go and figure out how to use it and talk to each other. I think it has to really be endemic to the program that they're in now, that they learn how to use it, they feel comfortable using it, feel like it's really part of themselves, and that will continue that. And the last thing is that there will be a marriage proposal probably coming at some point next semester, and you'll find out about it, so stay tuned. Sorry.
What does that mean?
I also wanted to give you I wanted to show you just 4 video clips, 2 of them basically highlighting successes of captains, and 2 of them highlighting the fellows